What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you very much for tuning into the second video of the LLY Duramax build. Over the past probably I think it was 4 or 5 days, I've just been going non-stop on this thing. I'm getting it ready because I'm going back up to college. As you can see, it's kind of just what I've been working on, and vlogging and working on things, it just kind of destroys your camera. I wish you could see how dirty I'm getting this right now. But anyways, so let's get caught up on everything I did over the past 4 or 5 days. Bed lining, I ripped out the old one over there. It's still kind of dry. I only have one coat on it, still have one to do. But I'm really happy how this came out. This was a $90 kit. Pretty much taped, you can see along the edges there. And you can see how well this line came out. That was honestly, I'd call that professional right there. And this is the kit that I used, $90 at AutoZone. It's called Herculiner. This is the roller you use. It gives it like a nice texture, like grippy, rubbery surface. This is the extra can. I want to say it was like $40 or so. This will get me through my second coat. So I did that, got some new cable straps here, and then painted up into here. Then I painted along the side there. I debadged it. Honestly, the reason I haven't really been putting video on YouTube is because, like I said, I'm so busy. What I do instead is on my personal Instagram, I always put up updates of what I've been doing. So if you check that out, I'll actually play that right now and you'll see a lot of the stuff that I did. I used that 3M wheel, got rid of all this, and then I came by with that buffer and I got it to pretty much a mirror. I was originally just gonna buff like down into here where the trim used to sit, but it turned out that it was like changing the color since it was so dramatic. So I just ended up buffing the entire truck. So now I'm gonna put a coat of wax on that. And then as you can see, I did the exhaust. This front pipe is just a mess. As you can see the difference, the Banks versus the MBRP. I'm sure you can guess which one performs better. Aside from that, I got all of the paint done on the frame and whatnot. I did LEDs in the headlight, if you can see those. And the other one is in the driving light. New headlights are ordered. They're gonna be painted all inside and whatnot. Albert's gonna fix those up from Gold Standard Lighting. Also got some tow mirrors on. As you know, when they come, they're all slanted up, like instead of being level, they're like this for some stupid reason. I leveled these out to do that. Pop this cover off. There'll be 4 bolts, 2 on the bottom, 2 at the top. Remove the top 2, put like 2 or 3 washers in there. I believe they're 10mm bolts. And then you put the top screws back in with the washers in there. And with those washers up top, it'll flip it back a little bit. Get them leveled out. Sometimes they're not all the same. Like left and right will be different amounts of washers to keep it level. Oh, cab lights. We did Recon smoke cab lights. I think I still have the box for it. So obviously these are the factory ones in here. As you can see, they were the lovely faded amber color. Fixed that with some nice Recon cab lights. Also the interior I cleaned, and I got the seats pretty much looking like new. Play my story from my Instagram right now of that. So that piece right there is pretty much something I just bought off of eBay. It's like a carpet brush, and for that it just pretty much scrubs into the leather more than I can ever dream about scrubbing into it, and it just brings all the dirt to the surface. But it does take a while. One seat, I want to say, was like close to 30 minutes or so. We got the front and the back all cleaned up, as well as the door panels. Temporary exhaust setup is on, more to come on that. So what I'm taking care of today is an oil change under there and a fuel filter change under here. And for that, I'm not going to replace the factory one. I'm going to go with a conversion kit. So instead of the factory fuel filter, I'm going to run this one because the AC Delco one is $50 to replace. This one is just $25. So I'll take the cat fuel filter, run some oil around these seals, screw that onto there. And then this is a little spacer to give you a little room between the engine and the fuel filter housing. More room to get your hands around there, make your filter changes easier. As well as you can see the little green bleeder screw. The OEM ones are plastic. These are metal so they won't crack when you go to bleed the lines. For fuel filter change, these are just bolts for the spacer plate depending on your application, small ones or big ones. This is the cat fuel filter that goes down to 2 microns. Your factory fuel filter will only go down to 4 microns, so you're getting twice the filtration. If that's not enough, this filter is $25 to replace, and your factory filter was $50. Now, if you do want one of these cat filter kits for your Duramax, like I said, 2001 up into 2016, shoot me a DM and I will get you fixed up with one. Also left to do would be the DSP5 switch and some tuning. Right now it's got the bank system in there, not really a fan of it, so we're gonna get some PPEI EFI live in there. And then I had to do the normal stuff: new front hub, new pads in the rear, rotors in the rear, 4 new calipers all the way around, and I think that about wraps up the work. I'm sure I'm missing stuff. Finally got all the bank stuff pulled out. It was stuck in those 2 main harnesses right there, and then it went through the firewall, came inside the truck underneath there, and then it ran the whole way to that corner piece there. And this is what is left of it, and I think I know the perfect place for it. I'd never wish it upon anyone, so I think we'll keep it right there. The switch is mounted right here, routed. These are the 2 wires for it. They come underneath and out through the firewall, and then to the ECM. So here they are right here, and then they go in pin number 32 and pin number 50. So to free up the space for those pins, these little things sit in there. They're 2 little blue pieces that just sit, you can see the rest of them in there, that just protect it from getting dirt in there. Pop those out, get underneath them, and also what helps is if you use a small drill bit, like super small, to pop those out. Well, as you can see, that did not really go as planned, as usual. I believe I left off with you guys when I was pulling out the banks tuning, and I was going to tune it and flash it with the PPEI. I had it all set up with a computer. It took me like an hour to get all the tunes out of the AutoCal, the new ones in, BBX files, all that cool stuff. Finally got it to the truck, and it turns out the ECM was locked. So what that means is banks, once their tunes go into the ECM, they don't want people to be able to tamper with them and see what they have. So basically, they lock the ECM so you can't get in. So that left me with the option, I couldn't get it unlocked, and I had to buy a new ECM. So unfortunately that won't be in for this video. We won't be able to flash it or anything like that, but it will be coming soon, I can tell you that, and we'll get the new tunes in here that will actually do something for the truck. But the cool thing about this video being split into 2 little segments now that it's like a week later than the other video that I started recording, we're gonna get to see both trucks today. Well, a little with the second truck, mostly this truck. We're actually gonna go down, and I got some parts to pick up that are coming off of the white truck. You guys have been asking about that, and I know you haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten, obviously. It is on my personal Instagram, a lot of photos on there, and just kind of progress pictures along that I haven't been putting on YouTube, but they are on my personal Instagram. So without waiting any longer, I think it's time we get on the road. So this right here is the temporary exhaust setup. That sounds a lot better than the last video when you heard it last. So the interior, I can't say a whole lot has changed on it. Obviously this is new right here. I don't think it was in the last video. I got the Kenwood double din head unit in there, and that's all wired up. I have my cord coming out of here, and that plugs into my phone. And there was actually a hole exactly, I don't know if you can see back in there, there's actually a hole right there from the factory. So it worked out good because all I had to do was route that wire back behind here, down below all the air conditioning, climate stuff. And then it was pretty much right where I needed it to be. Now the one thing I will give this LOY is the way the turbo sounds, because there's not many trucks where you're gonna get that. Unless you buy a 6.0, but we won't do that. You know, the reason I did step down to like an 04.5 from a 15.5 is obviously price for a winter truck. I don't want like a brand new 2015 LML or anything, but I had my first LB7, and that really gave me the first true diesel experience, and I really miss that because the newer ones, they have all these computers in them. They're so computerized. The engines are, physical engines are quieter, and that's something that I missed. It's just the older diesel where, yeah, it's still very computerized here, but not nearly as much as my 15. Here's an example. On my LML, I put HID headlights in, and then I had traction control and StabiliTrak start throwing these lights on the dash. So it was really cool just to step back and what a real diesel is. I mean, yeah, there's still real diesels in the new ones, but you guys get what I mean. You actually hear the engine. It's not just for the comfort, especially with that new L5P. Thing starts up like a gas truck, even in the cold. From what I was reading, it's absolutely ridiculous. Well, I realized where I screwed up. I was waiting to find out what it was, and I just realized I didn't bring any ratchet straps for all the parts that I'm bringing back. So, and yes, no matter where I am, I will park in the middle of nowhere. This older fella here got this beautiful Duramax. He doesn't want it to get hit. Actually, it's a gas shop, but that's okay. So he parks the whole way out here and walks in. Looks like he's 85. If he can do it, so can you. Innovative Auto Works, the shop that is putting the lift kit on, all kinds of custom work, stuff like that. All right, now it's gonna be a surprise as much to you as it is to me what exactly the parts are that are back here. Some bumpers, rotors, some leafs, and then it looks like a ton of parts are, I assume, inside of here that we will find out, I guess. So now, lucky for you guys, you don't have to lift anything, and I'm stuck being the one who has to load it all up in here. So everything is in here and it is pretty tight. As you can see, it's pretty much stuff on top of stuff. I did find some packing material to put in there so nothing rubs, and then some paper in here for the shocks so they don't hit. We'll go over everything that I picked up today when we go back. The truck, unfortunately we can't see it, but it is right behind those doors right there. The only thing I screwed up on, besides forgetting ratchet straps, is something wet to wipe my hands off, because I really don't want to grab my steering wheel. But anyways, guys, I will see you back at the house. I'm headed out of here, but I will say this Jeep, that color right there, that is actually a pretty nice color. I'd be the first to tell you that I do not know much about Jeeps, but I do know you get the Fox stabilizers up front, steering stabilizers, BDS suspension lift, Fox shocks on the side. I did see, looks like they're the larger fender flares too. Headlights, I'm assuming, are aftermarket, winch in there and everything. Nice cool little build. 4-door too, which is, I personally prefer that over the 2-door. I just pulled in the driveway here. I want to show you guys something before it starts going down too much from idling. The MPG, see that right there? 29.7. And yes, I did correct it for the tire size. Everything is 100%. That is 29.7 MPG. Mostly highway driving, right around 60s, like the sweet spot, 50, 60, anything after that. It all kind of starts to go downhill, but gotta love these older diesels, I'll tell you that right now. So let's see everything that we have here. Obviously bumpers, Fox shocks here, wheels and tires here. Pretty much brand new rotors for the rear, front ones up there. We have Cognito upper control arms. These are an absolute must if you want a good ride quality on a leveled vehicle. So that pretty much wraps up today's video. You saw but of both trucks. Unfortunately, the other one was in the shop, so we couldn't look at it. But the next video, or probably one after that, we will eventually have it out. I was gonna stop right there and call it a video, but these just showed up. They are going to be some lights. So ordered these a couple days ago and they finally came in. One thing I forgot all about is the fog lights. LEDs right in there. So let me talk real quick about the ever debated question of, do I get LEDs or do I get HIDs? So at the end of the day, HIDs are gonna be this much brighter. For the hassle of it, I haven't found that it's worth it. I mean, I've had HIDs, did them in my last 2 trucks, and which the second one would be the LML, and I actually pulled them out because they'd flicker. Newer trucks, HIDs, they don't mix too well together. So I did switch to LEDs, haven't had a problem since. If you have fog lights, hence why I'm doing this, if you have fog lights and the headlights, you really have nothing to worry about. Let's take these up to the front of the truck. Unfortunately, as you see, it is in the middle of the day, so we won't really get a great comparison. Do this one first, then we'll compare it to the other one. All right, so here we are underneath the truck. Pretty much just twist this to the left and pull out. There you have it, little tab up top that clips, get underneath that, and then push away and then it'll pop right off. And the great thing about these LEDs is literally this is all there is to it. You don't have ballast coming off it and all that stuff. That was the biggest pain, the worst part about them. When putting these in, there's gonna be a little ridge on each side, so you're not really gonna know which way to. Right here, there's a plus and a minus. On the left is the plus, right is the minus. The black is going to be your negative, and the grayish wire is going to be your positive. Really, it's as easy as plugging it in, make sure that's pushed down. Okay, let's check out the difference. Key on, headlights, fog lights. So the LED headlights are already in there. The new one, wow, it is a lot better. I'll compare the two. It's kind of tough since we're in the middle of the day. But if you see on the right is obviously the LED and the left is the halogen. Heck of a lot brighter over here. This seems pretty much useless now. Plus you get rid of that ugly yellow look, straight to the white. Also, your high and low beams are going to be 9006 and 9005. And this is also the daytime running light, 3157. That's the one that comes on when you put it into drive. Cab lights I also did. These are Recon smoked. Really happy with those. I hate the look of those amber ones. Also on the windshield, I forgot to mention this. I did the tint on here the one day. Went with a lovely 45%. As always, I did that on my LML, made a whole video about it, seeing out of it at night, all that good stuff. Link to that is right up here. You can check that out. Side windows are 20%. That pretty much just matches the factory perfectly. And overall, I love the look of that, the tinted windshield as well as the side windows. I also forgot to mention, I found out a new feature of this truck I didn't even know when I bought it, because I was wondering what exactly this switch did right here. Literally all I did on my personal Instagram, I put up a photo. I actually think I did a video. And I pretty much just asked, hey, if anyone knows what this is, shoot me a direct message. And I literally had 70 people message me, so I gotta say, you guys are awesome. I appreciate you giving back to me whenever I need help. I try my best to answer any questions I have for you guys, reply to any DM. There's not a single one that I won't reply to. So once again, guys, I really appreciate that. I found out this is part of a snowplow prep package. It's already factory wired up and everything, and I was told that the wires for it are ready to go, and they are actually up into the cab there, and that's just for if you have, for say you want to put a strobe light up there or something. The way that picture looks on there, it makes sense that that's what it's for. But that answered my question, and then I started looking into it, and with it you get an upgraded alternator. And I was reading something about the torsion bars, they might be a little stiffer or something. I wasn't 100% sure on that. Cool little package I really never knew I had, but thanks to you guys I figured it out. Like probably, like I said, 70 people I think helped me out there, so thumbs up to you guys. All right, so here she is, just getting started. Tons of stuff coming for this truck. This is just the very beginning. Next week I got a huge surprise coming up, so if you want to do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button. If you think it was a good video, give me a thumbs up. If you think it was a bad video, give me a thumbs down. Honesty is the best policy. So guys, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.